The Laura Ingraham Show.
The Attorney General, Troy King, Attorney General of Alabama, is now conducting his investigation into Planned Parenthood Alabama following the on-camera sting that shows that this clinic worker was saying, well, sometimes we we bend the rules a little bit. It's all going to be confidential here. Joining us now is the Attorney General, Troy King. General King, great to have you with us.
Yeah, it's nice to be with you, Laura. I wish we were talking about something other than this. This is a terrible, terrible incident that's occurred.
Well, let's talk about where your investigation is, because I think this happens, General King, more than we know. I think what Lila Rose and her investigators have uncovered across the country is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to these clinics. And you're just focused, obviously, on your own state. What have you found out so far?
Well, we have been in touch with Lila Rose and with her organization. They have provided us with an unaltered, unedited copy of the recording that was made when they visited the Planned Parenthood facility in Birmingham. What I found is deeply disturbing. It's an abortion worker who gives advice to a girl who represents herself as being underage, who says that she's had sex with a 31-year-old, that if she'll call back and talk to another worker at the facility the next day, that sometimes they can find ways to bend the rules. And by that she means to get around the reporting requirements, the consent requirements. It's very troubling, Laura. I mean, she tells the girl who says, I don't want to tell my parents, she said, well, do you have an older sibling with the same last name who maybe could sign for you? It is extremely disturbing, not just as an attorney general who has spent his life as a pro-life advocate, but as an attorney general who believes that the laws are made to be enforced. And when you have abortion clinics that are creating avenues around the law to circumvent parents, to circumvent parental notification laws, and to allow girls to make decisions that there are reasons we have laws that prevent them from making at that age, that is extremely troubling.
The OBGYN, the clinic manager, is Dr. Desiree Bates, and apparently she is the one on tape who says that sometimes rules are bent a little bit in order to accommodate young women who come into the clinic and obviously want or are seeking abortion services. This is a violation of the criminal code, General King, or is it some type of civil violation?
Well, it could be both. If Lila Rose were indeed underage, it would be a violation of both. Mm-hmm. At the very least, I have written Dr. Don Williamson, who is Alabama's state health officer who licenses and regulates nursing homes, and I have asked him to begin abortion clinics, and I have asked him to begin an investigation of this matter, of these tapes that have been released, to determine if there's licensure action that is appropriate, which could include shutting down the abortion clinic in response to his findings. At the same time, we are asking for other people who have visited these facilities who perhaps were underage at the time that they went to contact my Family Protection Unit and to report similar instances involving underage girls. If we can determine that it's a pattern in practice, it very well can be a violation of the criminal law as well, and give us the ability to hold people accountable for what they are doing to prey on young girls.
I was putting my legal hat on, General King, and I was thinking that if this is happening at clinics across the United States, and it is, according to all this investigation that has been undertaken, then the federal government actually could file a RICO action against Planned Parenthood. I mean, a pattern in practice that is occurring across state lines nationally, with several clinics involved, where it seems to be a practice to turn the other way when someone comes into the clinic underage, statutory rape possibly involved. There are all sorts of possibilities here. Not that I'm holding my breath for the Obama administration to aggressively pursue some type of federal claim against one of its biggest supporters, Planned Parenthood, but you see where I'm going here.
I do, and I'm not optimistic about that either. However, I am absolutely committed to protecting all life within the borders of Alabama. and I believe that children have a right to be born without being interfered with by an abortion mill who may want to stop their life early. It is alarming to me that in Montgomery County, which is where the state capitol sits, nearly a quarter of the pregnancies that are begun are terminated by abortion. 25%. That is an untenable statistic. And when you add to that numbers of those are of underage girls who have not had parental consent or may not have had parental consent, that makes this a very, very alarming situation.
Well, and also when you look at the disproportionate number of minority babies aborted at Planned Parenthood clinics across the United States, that in and of itself is disturbing, and that's why a lot of black pastors have gotten involved in trying to raise awareness about how you have to follow the money here with Planned Parenthood. You got to follow the dough. It's always about the money. The money is at the heart of all of this. They want the holy grail of abortion rights. Of course, they want that protected. But this is about money, pure and simple. And the federal government continues to shovel money at Planned Parenthood nationally for its, quote, education and health services. But that just frees up other Planned Parenthood money to promote its abortion services.
Well, Laura, of course that's true, and money is always the trail that these things tend to go down. But it goes back to something more, from my perspective, it's something more fundamental than that. And that is, are we going to protect the most vulnerable among us or not? Do we really value life or not? It's not about a choice, it's about a child. And there are children who are being killed who have a right to be born. And they're being aborted around the laws, as this abortion clinic said, around the rules that they're bending. Well, we don't make state laws in Alabama to be bent. We make them to be enforced. And we are trying to determine, I've got investigators who are assigned to this. I've got prosecutors who are assigned to this. We've got the regulatory agency that licenses abortion clinics assigned to this. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. And if laws have been broken, we're not going to allow them to be bent and broken. We're going to enforce them scrupulously.
Has Planned Parenthood been cooperative in any document requests gone out to them? Have they been responding to those requests?
Well, I think it's really too soon to know what their response to this is going to be. The Live Action organization was extremely cooperative, and they provided the tape immediately. We've had some internal IT people begin a forensic examination to assure the authenticity of the tape, to make sure it's not been altered, and it does not appear to be. It appears to be an edited version of what happened that day. And we're deciding what the next appropriate step is.
Well, General King, if this is indeed Dr. Desiree Bates, doctor, they don't do no harm. The Hippocratic Oath isn't really all that big anymore in the United States, apparently. But if she, in fact, said that to the young girl, well, we can bend the rules for you, 14, 15-year-old, shouldn't she lose her license to practice medicine in the state of Alabama? I mean, how could she practice medicine if this type of ethics complaint or civil criminal complaint turns out to be true?
Well, I think that's the first step, is to determine the veracity of the allegations that have been made. At first blush, this appears to be an accurate accounting, but we've got more work to do to determine that they are accurate. But once we do, I think that there are many different avenues that could be available, including licensure avenues. We've already begun one. Once we're able to positively identify who's on the tape, there may be others, like the Medical Licensure Commission and other things.
Mm-hmm. Well, Attorney General Troy King of Alabama, we're going to check back in with you. I'm acutely interested in what happens with this investigation, and we salute you for actually conducting an investigation and trying to get to the bottom of this. And I hope you'll stay in touch with us. And just thank you for doing what you're doing. It's the right thing to do. And regardless of whether you're pro-life or not pro-life, you can't stand up and say that this is okay. Right. This is really not a pro-life, pro-choice issue. This is a legal issue. And all the people are saying we want abortion to be safe, legal, and rare. Okay, well, how about rare among 14-year-olds who've been impregnated by 31-year-olds? But that's another conversation. General King, I hope you'll come back, and thank you very much, and we'll check back in with you.
It's nice being with you, Laura. Can I give out the 800 number for my family protection unit, just in case there perhaps are some victims listening?
Yes,
it's
sir.
1-800-230-9485. And anybody who has a similar story to this will strengthen what we're doing to hear it, and I hope that they will call.
Okay, we'll put that number up on our website as well under our guest section, General King, so we'll be able to flag that for our listeners in Alabama. We have a big listening audience in Birmingham and across the state. We appreciate it very much. We have a lot to get to on The Laura Ingraham Show. Stay with us.
The Laura Ingraham Show.